clean.
Now
Coming
we can
clean.
go. See, when it comes up there, then you can go.
Oh, very good.
Hello.
However, here we
Yes,
are
coming clean.
with Val
Whatever
G.
that means. Have you washed yourself today?
I have washed myself
So
today.
you're clean,
I'm totally clean.
pristine.
Pristine, yes.
What about your mind?
My mind,
there
yes.
lies the rub.
My mind is clean.
By the way, did you know that there's fairies in the bottom of our garden?
This was a project that I did last year. This face is really weird. Can you see that face there?
I thought it was your face.
It's like a little fairy face that I painted.
A
This
pixelated
flower.
face.
Anyway,
Oh, excuse me. Dying.
so here we are, coming clean.
Coming clean.
Weighed myself this morning, 189,
420.
which is surprising since I had, if you looked at yesterday, I had quite a lot of chocolate yesterday.
Yes.
And here's what I really have to come clean about. It's quite disgusting. So, ate this chocolate, and then we went out last night after we'd done a coming clean about the chocolate, and that I'd put some chocolate in the garbage, in the trash can. Came back from last night, went into the trash can, and got the chocolate out and ate
That's
it.
disgusting.
It is so disgusting. I'm so disgusted. No, I'm not.
I'm just drinking my vodka.
I'm just not disgusted with myself. Sorry, but I'm not. I mean,
Have you no shame, madam?
I have no shame. I am the happiest that I've ever been, and sometimes I'm just like
disgustingly happy.
Yes, disgustingly happy. Because I think that's one of the problems is like with being a human being, we do stuff that we don't want other people to know, which is, like that. Who would throw chocolate away in a garbage can and then go retrieve it? Like, that's disgusting. And it's not, it's just being human.
There you go.
A little human animal who's addicted to sugar.
That is you.
And I think it's when we get upset about what we do and feel like we have to hide it and feel ashamed.
Shame, the shame.
I think
the Puritan shame of it. You're not supposed to be happy.
Is there anything
Life is a struggle.
Is there anything that you've done that you want to
Never.
come clean about today?
No, nothing at all.
No, you're happy. Good.
Because I don't care.
Right.
Right. Look up there at the hole.
Look at the hole. That's the hole.
Yes.
Anyway, what else do I want to tell you? So I was reading about the Dalai Lama. I get this email, a newsletter called the Lion's Roar, and it's about Buddhism and whatnot. And I guess the Dalai Lama was being interviewed on the BBC, and he said something about, the next Dalai Lama should be an attractive female, and that has set the world awry. Like, why would it have to be an attractive female? And then he also said something about immigrants, that they can come into the country and then we should teach them and train them, and then they should go back to where they came from. And,
little naive.
Yeah, I love the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, because he's coming from love.
Yeah, and he is. See, here's what I think is like each human being, we each have a skill that we need to share with the world. So the Dalai Lama's skill is, he's a Buddhist, and he meditates and is peaceful and happy. If ever you see him, he's laughing and smiling. And that's his skill to share with the world. He's not skilled at being a politician or a husband or a father or,
Very good point.
Those are not his skills. But I think oftentimes we expect these people to be skilled in everything. It's like, a singer, talented singer. Michael Jackson, fantastic singer and dancer. I loved him. He's not skilled in, he wasn't, bless him, gone now, but he wasn't a skilled father or whatever, So then we decry people for not having all of the skills, just because they're a star, just because it's the Dalai Lama. Is everything he says going to be perfect?
No, of course not.
I think then we start, I think what happens is we just like have this critical head on it, like, oh, look what he said. Well, look at the Dalai Lama for the peace that he spreads, for the joy, the
love.
happiness.
He comes from love every time.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's right all the time.
No. He
But
can
there's
be
a lot of
dick.
nasty,
The Dalai Lama can be a dick.
little people around.
Right.
Evil-minded, nasty people, of which I'm one.
Yeah, I am one too. I mean, who goes into the trash can to retrieve chocolate and then eat
a
it?
disgusting animal. Evil.
Anyway, so I think the purpose of life is to find out what your skill is. It was funny because we take our youngest grandson to soccer practice, summer camp every morning. And this morning he wanted to go to this place called Owl's Grill, which is in Oak Park, because he loves it there because the waiters and waitresses, they all kind of have fun with him. And he was having pancakes with powdered sugar. Now, should he have powdered sugar? I don't know. He loves it. We love him. Boom.
And 2 sausage links.
Yes. And so the waitress was there, was talking about, like, she has a grandson who's 3, and he loves, I think it's music. And she said, that's our job, is to, like, show them different things that they could be. And then when they like something, then you encourage them to do that thing. I think, did you get that?
Oh, yeah. Try and encourage people.
So
don't get sycophantic about it. Just encourage them. Don't become helicopter parents and overstimulating these poor things. Let them find out and then encourage them into that area. Our grandson loves playing soccer, so let him play.
Then our other grandson loves music, so he plays music. And then our granddaughter loves being of service and helping people, so that's what she does. And she's teaching right now. She's teaching kids improv and theatre, music. So it's great. It's
Singing.
Great to see kids doing their skill.
Best thing in the world, if you can learn to do a skill at that age. Good Lord.
Right.
What a wonderful life you're going to have.
So then we were kind of talking about, like, what's our skill?
I haven't got any.
And I mean, since 83, 85, we've had our own training company teaching emotional intelligence and soft skills like that, leadership. And now we're semi-retired. We don't do that. But so I was saying,
stop saying that.
Right, we're not semi-retired.
I am not semi-retired.
All right.
I want to keep working until I fall off the saddle.
Okay.
I'm going to take my horse to the old town road.
No. Gonna ride till I can no more. Skip it in the happen, skip it down the road.
I don't know the words right. Stop. Right, stop now. I wish I hadn't started. All right.
Gonna take my... Right, okay.
50 years of this. Right.
Anyway, so I was saying to Jeff, so Jeff's mum died about 18 months ago at the age of 92, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she used to come visit every year. And I loved that. I loved that when she came to visit, because it was kind of like, this strong, powerful woman who still was optimistic and happy. And when things went wrong, I mean, even when she had a stroke, she was still laughing with the staff that looked after her. She just was great.
Yeah, she could joke about it.
And feisty too, though. She was also a bit feisty. But I feel like Jeff and I are here in a way to be, the last...
Old and feisty.
Old, feisty and funny.
Old, feisty and funny. The OFF, old, feisty, funny.
So,
Off. OFF, old, feisty and funny. And if you don't find us funny, go away. Turn it off. We don't need you.
Oh, there you go. That's a little bit feisty there.
That's a bit feisty. You see, I'm doing the feisty bit.
Yeah.
And here's the funny.
So Jeff used to be a beekeeper. Did you know that? Did you know that?
An apiarist.
When we lived in Oxford in England, he had 2 hives?
2 hives, yes.
2 hives in the field next to our house.
Yes.
And one day there was a storm, lightning, and it hit a tree that fell on these 2 beehives. And Jeff was so panicky. Were you panicky? Was that the
Yeah,
word?
yeah.
About your bees, and
Well, the hives had fallen open. Everything was open, and
so he rushed out. Did you climb over the fence to get into the field?
no, there was a gate.
There was a gate.
Yeah.
Went through the gate to his beehives. Didn't have any protective gear on because
Short sleeves.
So you were like pulling
them back up again. Yeah.
Tell the story. Go on.
Well, there's nothing. I mean, I was just putting them upright again and trying to get all of the frames back in and all of that. And of course, they were not very happy about that, so I got stung a lot.
Right. So when he came in to the house, I'm like, "Hi, how are you doing?" Fine. Then I saw him like a few minutes later. I don't know. We were having a cup of tea or something, and I just noticed his face was like red.
Like it is now.
Are you okay? Well, no, it was redder than that. I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, yeah. A few minutes later, I'm looking, and it's like his face is now getting
bigger and bigger,
red. Oh my God! So
the
now
whole
in
of
England,
my body was getting bigger.
Right, everything was getting bigger, and
literally.
I don't know why I didn't call 999. In England, it's not 911, it's 999. I called our local doctor who was in the next village, and he answered the phone and he said, "Bring him in right now." So we get in the car and I drive there, just a few minutes away, and he's like, "Oh, he's in apoplectic. He's having an apoplectic shock." So tell them about what happened then.
Well, you telling me it, you carry on.
Well, because
I'm here getting bigger and bigger to pretend.
It was really like exploding. Red, fat, big face.
Actually, like now, red and fat.
Anyway, the doctor says, and then the doctor calls out to someone, like, "Come here and watch this." I guess he had a nurse who was visiting. And so now it's the doctor and the nurse and me. And he just gives you a shot, and then that was fine, right?
Yeah. But I could have died because everything closes up your throat, etc., and you asphyxiate. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, number one, if you hadn't been married to me, you probably would have died. Number two, if I hadn't called the doctor and take me there, you would have died. Number three, if it wasn't for me.
Yeah. And number four, if it wasn't for you.
If it wasn't for me.
Number five, how
I
amazing
saved your life.
Because if it wasn't for you. There you are. And what did you save it for? God damn it.
So you could be here today
Old
in
fat.
Oak Park, Illinois, Midwest, sharing this
all
story.
Is best.
I think that's what it's about. It's about coming clean with, not that that's a story that you had to come clean about, but
I'd actually forgotten about it, but yeah.
Yeah. So now
another chapter in my life of forgetting this.
You don't keep bees anymore.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Can't have them anymore. I've got my epidural.
Chuck Cowdery.
I've got my what?
Yeah, well, we got this.
I don't even know where it is. So
I think it's in the car, but it's probably about 10 years old by now. So we really should get another one in case. But I think that was because you were stung by so many bees.
So many bees to sting, so little time. And the poor buggers all die when they sting me. I mean, that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah. It was sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. When a honeybee stings, it dies.
You really used to like taking care of those honeybees, though, didn't you? Do you remember Jack?
Old Jack, yeah. There is nothing better on a summer day, sitting by a hive of bees with that beautiful humming sound, and they're just crawling all over you and checking you out, and there's no problem.
Right.
It's very, very relaxing. Or trying to find the queen.
Oh, tell us about that.
Well, it's a real job, that, because you've got to find her. You know, there's 60,000 bees in there, and one of them is the queen. So just to check on her to make sure she's okay. But she is much bigger than the rest. It's just being able to spot her. And of course, they're not too happy with that.
Right.
So I had all my gear on.
The hat and the gloves. And
your pants tied so they can't crawl up your leg and paralyze things that are very important.
so I'm thinking that day when you rushed out to save them, you didn't have your pants tied or anything, or nothing. Nothing.
But the good news was that everything went 3 times its size. So for 1 second, I was very proud.
So when you find the queen bee, don't you put like a dab on her or something to find her more easily?
Yeah.
A dab of what?
Oh, non-toxic paint. Just a tiny little dab of yellow or blue or red so that she stands out. Because sometimes, if the hive isn't well, you'll take the queen and they'll swarm and you take her somewhere else. Or you get the new queen to come with you so that a new hive can be started. So the old queen stays with all her followers, and then you take the new queen who then starts another hive, and so on and so forth.
Very good. So can we learn anything from the bees?
Well, they all know their job. They're an amazing. They have this discipline which is staggering. They know everything that they have to do for their specific job, and that's all they do all day. Come hell or high water. And the drones, which are the male ones, they have quite an interesting life. They have to mate with the queen in the air. There's about 500 of them in a 60,000 nest. And 5 or 6 or 12, we're not quite sure, actually get to couple with her to then inseminate her so that she can start laying the 8 billion eggs. And then if their job finished, they don't have a sting. They can't really fend for themselves. So the worker bees and the nursery bees, they look after them and feed them until the winter comes when things are tight, and then they take them outside and kill them. That's the lot of a man. It's basically as it is today.
Just a minute. So how do they kill them?
It's just
Oh, no, that can't be right because.
Why not that right?
Well, because the bee, when they sting something, they die. So
yeah, that doesn't matter. Remember, their job is to do their job.
So you're telling me that at the winter, these bees are taking the drones out. The female workers are taking the male drones out and stinging them, and they're both dying.
Right.
Well, who's left in the hive then?
Well, darling, there's only a few of them drones left.
Right.
It's not like there's 60,000 drones. There could only be a handful left who are becoming a burden to the hive. So that's all. I mean, it's nothing.
Well, just a minute. So let me get this picture. So the queen is flying up there to be inseminated by the drones, and there's 500 drones flying with her. Only 12 or 13 get to do it. What happens to the rest of them?
They come back to the hive, and then they have to be looked after because they can't do anything. They can't forage. They can't.
So there's 500 drones left in the hive.
This woman is so
literal.
Oh!
There's 500 drones in the hive that now have to be taken out at the winter.
No, some of them die anyway.
Right, okay.
The life of a bee isn't exactly long.
How long is the life of a bee?
I can't remember, actually.
Is some of what you're saying not totally accurate?
It's absolutely accurate.
Oh, okay then. So these 500, so they come back, the workers are feeding them. Well, how many come back into the hive
because
to be fed?
Because the ones that mate, for their size, they have the largest penis.
Oh my God. All right.
Which is then, as they inseminate the queen, it pulls everything out,
Oh.
and they die in the air.
Oh God!
Happiest they've ever been.
Little souls.
What a way to
Oh my God! Wow.
die. Yeah, they die.
No wonder they're disciplined, because if somebody sat down and told them what was going to happen, they would never do it. Be like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you've got to fly up there and mate with the queen, and then everything's going to get pulled out, and you're just like, no, I'm not going to do that. So think what we've learned from the bees is ask questions.
Don't be one.
Don't be a bee. Ask questions.
Can you imagine what the workers are like if you told them what they had to do?
Oh God!
And the nursery bees.
Tell me, what do the nursery bees have to do?
Literally, they're constantly making little cots for the new babies.
So the queen's laying billions of eggs.
They're making those wonderful
hexagons,
so they can put the babies in that she's popping out.
Oh my Lord!
Hundreds of thousands of she's just popping out babies one after. That's what. Can you imagine if you said that? Your job is just to keep popping
out babies. No.
All the time.
No, I don't want to be a queen.
I wouldn't want to be any of them if you talked to them about it. And the guard bees who know they're going to die.
Oh my God, what do the guard bees do?
The guard?
Well, what does that look like?
Well, whatever's coming in the way. There was that one time that I found a sparrow spread-eagled in front of the hive.
Yes.
Because it was coming in to try and get the honey. And they literally stinged it to death, and it was just lying there completely.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's the guard's job.
Well, yeah, they'll attack anything that's going to have a problem. Giving up their lives for the hive. All of the bees give up their lives for the hive.
Even the queen eventually, when
she gets old and dies.
How long does a queen last?
I can't remember, a couple of years.
But the life of an ordinary bee is like a year. God, I hope people can hear us still. We're sitting in our back garden, which backs onto Harlem, which is a very busy street.
Well, they're reconstructing the hospitals, so they're huge trucks everywhere. Anyway, that's...
Yeah, so that's the life of a honeybee.
So do you want to be a bee or do you want to be a human?
I want to be a human. I want to be a human being, a being.
That's right.
But that gets back to being the happiest that I've ever been, because, you know, we have choices. We have the choice every morning to wake up and decide, how am I going to be? Am I going to be happy? Or
how many times can we say be now? Yes, we all want to be happy. Well, not happy, because that's...
Yeah, I want to be happy.
Life is not made up of happy. Life is made up of... I mean, life is difficult.
Yeah, but life is just a series of things that happen.
Right.
The emotion is ours to choose
what emotion. You decide the choice you have to be upset and miserable or to be...
happy.
That's all we got.
Happy. Yes,
happy.
Anyway. Right. Thank you for sharing that story about the bees, because I know that when you did them, you absolutely loved it. And you really loved that guy, Jack, who was stooped over, by the way. He was a lot... You were in your 20s when you first started looking after bees.
Yeah.
And Jack was probably
80.
in his... Oh, he was 80. And stooped over, and... Because you had to take the bees to fields of clover and stuff like that, didn't you?
Right. To get the clover.
Right, and it's pretty hard work.
Well, I used to do it for him, that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
You were being...
I was the humper. The apprentice, he was a lovely guy. And we go to classes for bees, and he'd take me there. And, yeah.
He's probably dead now, right?
Oh, hell. Or he's 135.
Do you think he enjoyed his life?
I think he was very happy.
Oh, that's good.
To be being a baby.
And you helped him in that, being happy.
I did.
That's what it's about. It's about helping It was talk about being of service. I'm not even sure. I think it's about helping people be happy.
Ba-boom.
I mean, yeah, that's it. So be happy, help other people.
Yes.
Not that you can actually help people be happy, really.
No, they have to do it themselves.
Yeah.
But you're there to help, guide, and be with.
Well, I think just laugh and tell a joke. Knock.
Who's there?
Be
who?
becoming happy. All right.
Who becoming happy?
It's not
really
even funny.
A bad
I know.
joke.
Goodbye. Say
Be
goodbye.
who? Good night, Gracie.
Good night, John.
Billy Bob.
Biggie Bo.